We've seen the trailer for the Marvel Zombies animated show, but is it dead on arrival? Hello and welcome back to another episode of Strong Collectors Comics. I'm your host Jordan, joined today as ever by my plucky co-host Dakota. And we are diving into this topic of Marvel Zombies. There might be a lot of zombie puns, so get ready for that as we move along. You never know. But we have seen as a spin-off of the What If episode where we initially saw an intro to the Marvel Zombies world. We got a little look at that in Season 1. We've been hearing about this for a while, but now confirmed coming up is a couple episode series exploring more of the Marvel Zombies concept there. But I've got some qualms, or maybe some potential bones to pick, if you will. So, before I get into that, though, Dakota, because I have a lot of very strong feelings about Marvel Zombies, I think I have a stronger connection to the property than you do. So before I launch into all my complaints or potential worries, what is your relationship with the Marvel Zombies franchise, your excitement for this show? Where are you at with this?
I really have tried not to look into the show too much. So you said it's a couple episodes, that's it?
I think it's like 6, maybe.
Oh, six.
Six
Okay,
to
so it's like
eight,
a full
maybe? I don't know.
season. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. My introduction to Marvel Zombies was you. Like, I remember in middle school, probably before middle school even, like that, it was maybe even fourth grade. Why'd you have these in fourth grade? But
I'll tell you in a little bit.
Okay, I was going to say.
Going.
But I remember reading your issues of, I think it was Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness. And then I read, I think, the original Marvel Zombies and maybe Marvel Zombies 2. I know there's like several others after that. I thought they were very good. I thought it was fun. Even as a kid, like I said, like, why'd you have those? But I don't think they were like that outside of the scope of what you could read as a kid. Comics don't really line up with the movie or with the show. I think the first show, like you said, in What If, I thought it was pretty okay. It wasn't really what I was expecting for Marvel Zombies, but it kind of worked.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the trailer looks very cool, even though it's not what I would have done with Marvel Zombies. Like, I think the Blade Moon Knight thing, I'm here for that. Like, that sword fight with Ghost, that was sick.
That is a cool idea. There's some cool blade slicing up zombies. I'm all here for that. It is a little weird. We got Mahershala Ali Blade and no Blade movie yet.
Right.
I'm sure they were banking on that being out by now, but they're like, whatever. So, yeah, I think the animation, I mean, there's probably some cool fights and stuff like that looks cool. I guess for me, I'll go to my bigger issue, and as you said, yes, I remember getting the Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness. That was the first series that I got like a current issue of that was coming out. I think one of my brothers got it for me, and I like read that 5-issue miniseries, and that was the first time that it wasn't like a Toy Biz comic that I would throw away or like a freebie thing. I was like, I'm going to follow this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love my creepy stuff. I love my Halloween, my monsters. Perfect mashup for me then, my superheroes and monsters, right? So, and then basically the Marvel Zombies storyline, if you haven't been following that, when they introduce those, it starts as the Ultimate Fantastic Four, which, Dakota, you are reading, so you'll get to, but there's like a crossover, and you end up getting this world introduced where, just like the regular Marvel Universe, but zombies. And what I always thought was interesting about the comics is that the zombies, like, they have their general personalities, their, like, characters are pretty much the same. They just have a ravenous hunger for human flesh, which I think is such a fun, like, funny, interesting combination. Because, like, in those comics, they're articulating, they're talking, they're like, well, this is just kind of what we got to do. You got Spider-Man, who's, like, racked with guilt that he ate Aunt May and Mary Jane. And, like, to me, that is very interesting to see, like, how the heroes navigate their new lives as zombies and what do we do. What I didn't love about What If was that they're basically just regular mindless zombies. You know, they look like the superheroes. They have powers, but they don't really talk or speak, and they're just running around eating stuff, which to me is a lot less interesting than what they could have done by being, instead of being the humans fighting zombies, I would have been more interested in we're following at least some of the zombie characters. which I get. Maybe Disney would be like, that's too dark, right? To have Captain America running around eating people as like the
You got
protagonist, more or
Spider-Man
less.
ripping the heads off of a bunch of zombies.
Right, and I'm saying that's what I'm saying is like if you're going to do zombies, embrace what made those cool. Because I do think for the first 2 series, they did that pretty well. Some of it went off, and maybe I'll do a future episode breaking down all my feelings on the zombie comics. But I really did like what those early comics were doing, and I was excited for the What If. I think you kind of missed out on even doing like a, Agent Coulson falls through a portal and gets trapped in this zombie world or something, and then maybe he travels back. And that was like your glimpse. I always thought that was fun because they did a lot of people visiting the zombie world, and it's very shocking and crazy, whatever. It seems like this show is going to be more of that, where the zombies are just kind of running around, or they're controlled by Scarlet Witch, or whatever that's going to be, which still could be fun. Personally, though, I feel like that misses out on a lot of what made Marvel Zombies interesting to me as a concept.
Yeah, it just becomes like any other Walking Dead zombie type show, except now the zombies, some of them have superpowers, and
Right.
yeah, I do agree that it kind of loses a little bit of its excitement, and I think that's where like the Blade Moon Knight gimmick comes in, where it's like we have to do something to make this like interesting, because like now I'm like, oh, that's what I'm most excited to see, so like I'm gonna watch it either way, but like I'm gonna watch it now because I got this gimmick to go for, and it's not really the comics that I loved, but I still, I don't know, even like I feel like the making it like the mature content makes sense because it's zombies, but even that, I've never liked the like overly gory stuff, and they're already like cutting people in half. Like I said, Spider-Man's ripping a bunch of zombies' heads off. Nah, not. I mean, I thought when, like I said, Blade Moon Knight like slices up Ghost and
Right.
I'll take that. But if it's just going to be constant like blood and gore the whole time, I hope there's more to it than that.
Yeah, and I think that's where you need. It's interesting you said Walking Dead, because your guy Robert Kirkman did the original Marvel Zombie. He didn't create the idea, but he wrote the original series, which is interesting because he was doing Walking Dead and then doing Invincible and stuff. And I think you see where, like, his perspective of, I understand these superhero stories, I get it, but I'm going to make some fun kind of twists on these characters and have it get pretty dark, but then also still preserve these characters, which I think I'd be so interested in seeing, like a Captain America from the MCU who is now a zombie, or like how all the characters would deal with were zombies now, and like what do we do? How do we work through this? You could still have your humans or your uninfected superheroes, but I feel like they just kind of missed out by chopping that whole dynamic out.
Right.
So I'm, like you said, I'll still see it, of course, right?
Yeah.
As I complain, I'm still going to watch it. But I would be curious to know, if other people feel similarly about the way they're going about that depiction. If it's just like zombies are cool because they're zombies, and there might be some cool stuff in there. But I guess that's the thing that keeps me from being real excited about it.
Sure. So, like, if we were going to make this Marvel Zombies like the comics, what MCU characters would you have chosen to be kind of the main cast of, like, maybe 4 or 5 zombies that we're following throughout this new Marvel Zombies universe?
That's good. I think you need like a Hulk zombie for sure.
I agree.
Would be fun. I think you need a Hulk. I think maybe you get. I think I'd need Captain America.
Sure.
Since I guess I don't know if they would have the rights at this point, but like a Daredevil type would be kind of fun, like a less powered guy. But I guess you could sub in, Moon Knight or something for that. I would have liked to see also like I was going to say Iron Man, but I think Iron Man could be a fun, like, Resistance type character, like maybe he somehow was involved in this, the kind of an Ultron-y type thing, so maybe he's made some kind of, using the Ultron sentries or Ultron tech to fight back against, like he's the leader of the Resistance, more or less, like what's left of S.H.I.E.L.D., something like that.
Yeah.
I
think you got to put Spider-Man in there, too.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man should be a zombie.
Yep. Got one more. Who's your last pick?
So, how about... I guess at that point we could just stick with kind of our original Avengers. Could we put... I don't know if Black Widow would be a fun zombie. Quicksilver zombie?
Whoa, that'd be scary.
That could be kind of fun, I think, seeing him
That
as a
that would
zombie.
be interesting.
And then you could have, like, Scarlet Witch be part of the Resistance with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Iron Man, maybe Nick Fury somehow involved there.
I like that.
That'd be my pitch for the concept of the show,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I like that. I think, like I said, I think that would have been a better. I don't know better, but like I think that is a more interesting take on the zombies when they can actually like you're with them processing like I can't believe I just ate Aunt May, but like they also get to the point where they can't stop themselves. And now that we have
Right.
Galactus in the MCU, they could bring that in as the finale. They eat Galactus, and then now they've got the power cosmic.
Bada boom. There you go, baby. Those are our thoughts on the upcoming animated Marvel Zombies. Let us know below what you think. Am I way off for being a little critical of this? Should I just need to relax and enjoy the zombies? Please be liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, as always, stay strong.